What's up, losers? Today I've got another batch of r/fatlogic posts to examine. And most probably, to totally destroy, with facts and logic. Ha. This is episode 13, which is a little foreboding. But I'm sure everything will be okay. With that being said, let's get right into the posts.
Periodic reminder that treating and preventing obesity actually means trying to conversion therapy fat people into becoming thin people. Despite zero evidence this is remotely possible.
Okay, what? How can you say that there's zero evidence that it's remotely possible? Like, even if we accept the dubious fat acceptance figure of 90% of diets failing. Clearly some people do manage to lose weight and keep the weight off. Surely even the most extreme members of the fat acceptance movement have to admit that fat people becoming thin is indeed possible. Like, do they think that if a fat person got stranded in the mountains for months with no food, they would just stay fat? Because that's their natural weight. I would have thought that even fat activists were smart enough not to make that argument. But I guess I gave them too much credit, haha. And as for the comparison to conversion therapy, just don't even get me started. How stupid and distasteful can you get? Weight loss is absolutely nothing like conversion therapy. And I really resent the attempt to link the two. For so long gay people have been subjected to the most cruel and inhumane treatment in order to make them straight. Because people would assert that being gay was a choice, rather than a natural and inescapable part of who someone is. And that it could therefore be quote-unquote fixed through barbaric programs like conversion therapy. And now, as we're finally turning a corner on that kind of thinking, and more people and institutions are coming to understand and tolerate homosexuality, these fat activists come along and try to tack their unwillingness to diet onto the struggle that gay people face. Like, no, the two things have nothing in common. Unlike being gay, being fat is something that you can change. It is, ultimately, a choice, and by trying to worm your way into gay rights, you're making it look like the homophobes were right all along. And that maybe being gay actually is a choice. Because it's just like being fat. Right? So yeah, please stop. Just keep your hands off gay rights. If you want to make your stupid arguments about fat oppression, be my guest. But don't drag down other movements that are actually worth something by trying to take advantage of their popular support. It's just wrong.
Hey, guess what happened when I lost 30 pounds through moderate diet and exercise? Well, first I lost 30 pounds. Then I got pneumonia, various overuse injuries, and even worse body image. Then my brain started doing weird things around food against my will. Then I regained 80 pounds. It took 5 years to learn to eat normally again, and 10 years to stop associating physical activity with punishment. Just in case you were confused about why we say dieting doesn't work.
This seems like a bit of an unreliable narrator situation if I'm being honest. Like, could everything here have happened as described? Sure. Could a lot of it have been exaggerated or straight up fabricated? Also possible. Describing your weight loss as caused by your brain doing weird things around food against your will seems pretty sus. But what do I know? I'm going to engage with it as if it's all true anyway. This is just me noting my skepticism so you don't think I'm a gullible fool, haha. The problem with this post is that it's taking one person's experience of dieting and extrapolating from that to make sweeping judgments about dieting in general. The fact that you might have horrible experiences like these when you attempt to diet is certainly concerning, but there's no reason to believe that someone else who undertakes a diet is likely to encounter the same problems. What a reasonable person would do in this situation is instead of taking their experience and applying it to the whole world. Take the whole world's experience and apply it to themselves. What do I mean by that? Well, clearly lots of people are able to diet, and have some success, and not face the issues that this person has along the way. If I were in this person's position, I would look at what these other people had done, try to identify where they might have differed from me, and see if I could apply these findings to my own life so that I could diet more successfully. What this person decides to do, however, is basically throw her toys out of the cot, and declare that all dieting is bad, because she tried dieting one time, and it didn't work out. I don't need to explain why that's extremely immature. Right, okay, cool. Next post.
Realizing that the movie WALL-E was full of fat-shaming nuances.
There's barely any dialogue in that movie. Y'all are too damn sensitive.
Several assumptions. Fat means lazy, and only fat people are lazy. Fat people are ruining the planet. Fat is the worst thing someone could be. There's no sensitivity, just truth.
You know they didn't get on the ship fat. Right. The sedative lifestyle they live on the ship is what got them fat.
Okay, so I'm mainly including this one because it made me chuckle. Like, imagining some red-faced fat activist just blowing up over the unforgivable fat phobia in some Pixar movie is a funny image whichever way you slice it. I haven't actually seen WALL-E since it came out in theaters. And I wouldn't say I'm crazy about it, so I'm a little fuzzy on the finer details of the movie. But I think the person commenting at the end here is right. The people weren't fat when they went onto the ship. They just became that way because, well, they were sitting around all day, haha. Which also means that the movie isn't really about fat people ruining the planet. It's about technology ruining the planet, and also ruining people, by making them less active and allowing them to be essentially mindless consumers. The fatness is just a byproduct of everything else that's going on. In that sense, I don't think that the movie is suggesting fatness is the worst thing you can be. It's more like a visible representation of all the other bad things that you can be. I.e., inactive, indulgent, unthinking. It's not saying that the people are all those things because they're fat. It's saying that they're fat because they're all those things. And let's be real, if you just sat around all day eating and watching TV and whatever, you almost certainly would get fat. That's just facts. I probably got a bunch wrong about the movie, haha. Feel free to correct, and/or eviscerate me in the comments. I won't take it personally. Most likely. I debated including this next post, because it's pretty sad, and quite gross, and because the person is very explicit about not wanting to hear advice from strangers. It felt a little exploitative to include it in the video. But I think it raises an important issue that's worth discussing. The compromise I decided on is that I will put it up on screen for those who want to read it. But I won't read it out. I'll just summarize, and my commentary isn't directed at the person who wrote the post specifically, but at the fat acceptance movement as a whole. So for those who didn't read the post, it's essentially an obese woman describing the hygiene and comfort problems she's having as a result of her growing skin folds. She's struggling with washing and drying those areas, and it's causing a bit of a hygiene issue. So to the fat acceptance movement, I guess my question is, are you happy now? It's honestly so messed up that people would normalize a condition like this. That renders people unable to do basic things like wash themselves. And, on the other side of things, would shame the person in question if she decided to lose the weight in order to live a healthier and more dignified life. Everyone deserves to be able to live healthily and take care of themselves. But fat acceptance encourages people to just roll over and accept the consequences of obesity without even trying to lose weight. And that really doesn't sit right with me at all. Fat people, you deserve better than this. Don't settle for less. That is all. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I had fun as always. What is your favorite Pixar movie? Mine is probably Up. Let me know in the comments. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, or I'll make you do fat conversion therapy, haha. Anyway, catch you later.